Hello, guys. Welcome to another Don't Be Silent, Be Lean podcast from the Cycle Efficiency Now. Today, my guest is Martin Paleš, who is Continuous Improvement Manager. Hello, Martin. Welcome here.
Hello, thank you, Ivan, for inviting me for this relation.
At first, we know each other for a long time, yeah. But please tell me now, what are you doing now? And then we can discuss as well what was your career path in the past and what are your experiences.
Uh, Last couple of years, I was doing, let's say, a continued improvement or let's say launch support in various plants across the world, but mostly in, let's say, Europe, then some of it in Mexico and some of it also in the United States. And also supporting the continuous improvement as this is your channel. Thank you. And what is really good is that I started from the bottom as an operator, and eventually I went up to the plant manager function with a smaller plant. So, and actually, as you mentioned, we know each other. So, in one of the plants, we met together. Yeah. So,
Okay,
your
just
support was really good.
thank you. Thank you. I would like really maybe to go more in details because it's not so much usual what you mentioned. You really started as operator and then becoming a plant manager. So it's really, I would say, the huge progress. And please tell me more about that because I really like this journey because with every progress and with every level up, you learn a
Yeah.
lot and it's moves you to the next level. So yeah, if you can really comment more because I think this is quite interesting overall.
Yeah, I'll try to be efficient because we could spend here 2 hours. It was so much. But basically, I started as an operator working abroad with a new project at one of the companies. Approximately 1 year we were abroad. Then I moved to when we returned with let's say, after prototype phase for the start of the production. I became a foreman, then various roles within continuous improvement, but only within production, let's say supporting working instruction and those kind of things. It's a little bit layout. Then I went through the quality. And eventually, I was also a reader of the rework center. We had at most like 55 people there, so for 3 shifts, so it was quite big. And then and that was on quality. And then I moved to operations, and this is where my breakthrough point, my career breakthrough point happened. I met one of the guys, which was sent to our plant to support. And I think I can say he was my mentor. He was a
Mhm.
Canadian guy, and he helped me to learn English, to master it, to speak better, more fluent. And then eventually there was an opportunity to go to work abroad as a production manager. Sorry, not production manager, as a continuous improvement leader or manager. And I went to the plant where this my mentor, he was a plant manager, and he supported me with the CI role. I was certified there as a black belt, and then basically we were working together on the targets of the plant. We roughly reached 160%. It was, I think, 1 million as a target at the time, and we went 1.6 million. But very important, I would say, for your channel might be that over there we were working together, not just as it might be in some companies or plants that the CI managers have to do the job and they are the ones. But in this case, we were working with the management team together, identifying, working on the project and so on, right? But you must have a lots of experiences with that because you spend time in numerous companies and plants, right? And
Yeah.
countries.
Well, definitely we will get to that. Yeah. What I really like, what you mentioned, that normally, and this is what I don't like, is that there is really like the lean manager, lean leader, continuous improvement leader, manager, working alone, and he got the target. And always when I joined the company, I said, "Hey guys, the first I would like that this guy is going to report, to the plant manager." And the
Yeah.
second, that the portion of the CI job, because this is really about the mindset and the culture, that it will be deployed to every department, because otherwise you are going to fail. And this is and you really contributed to that. What you mentioned, where it worked was where everybody contributed and you were working as a team. And for me, this is really crucial. So thanks for mentioning that. Maybe you mentioned the black belt. Just imagine, a lot of people, they don't know what does it mean. Of course, black belt, it sounds like from karate, or from another, but really, what does it mean? I don't think that you were fighting with each other. What does it
No.
really mean, the black belt from your point of view?
I would try to, of course, the audience with the more experience might consider it as a very vague, but I will try to be for broad public.
Yeah,
I will try to
definitely, please do it.
say that explanation for broad public and very, very vague, very, very high level. I would say, from my point of view, as I see it, of course, we could open the definition, but as I see it, in a Six Sigma, which is, let's say, mastering or resolving problems through really a given methodology
Mhm.
and statistics and data and so on. You have several levels. We have a green belt, which is like a basic level where you touch the methodology, you have usually a leader, and you do some projects really oriented on quality, where you work with the data and try to resolve the problem, usually by your employer or one of the plans or whatever. And then the black belt is, let's say, higher level with more in-depth study, mentoring, of course, many lessons, utilizing basically the same methodology. However, you go much deeper using more tools, more statistics, and these kind of things. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for explanation. I think that's really good. You don't need to go in such details. What I
Yeah.
would again mention, that this is really teamwork. Yeah, so you are not alone as a guy, and of
Yeah.
course you are leading the team with your expertise, having some methodology behind, like DMake or the others. But really, this is something. You have a broad experience, from everywhere, and a lot of in Europe, of course. But for me, I would like to really highlight that I know something for you, this was your mission in US, and I'm not maybe now asking you for the details, but it was more the crisis, the crisis, and it was, I will mention, it's 2020. Why I'm
Mm.
mentioning that? Because definitely what I would like that you are going to share your trip back. It was the beginning of COVID, and I need to say your story, how to get back to home, is probably the most interesting out of all stories for the expats or foreigners
Yeah.
that I've heard. How difficult it was to get to home from US to Slovakia. So probably maybe now start really with your mission in US, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
please go ahead, because this is very fascinating.
The mission in the US was quite simple, as usually it is. My boss just called me, "Hey, we have a problem in that and that plant. Please go over there and support them with whatever is needed." Yeah, of course, we were talking a little bit about the details, and so I went there. I would say it was a general assembly problem, or let's say production issues. Yeah, material, headcount, turnovers, I mean people, turnover, and so on. But what I would say is the experience about the culture, because this was on the south of the United States. So really not, I'm not used for that, and there were people with a really different culture, and sometimes you cannot believe that, oh, this is real, but that's a local culture, and it's just different than we are used for it. Yeah. There was several or more funny moments, but one which I would mention is that typically we had some quite significant scrap, I don't know, 20% on one of the lamination machine or so at that day. And I was talking to operators about it, that hey, if we do it this way and according to the instruction, we can improve it, and preventive maintenance and all this stuff. And then one of the guys, and I said, "What are we gonna do with this, all this scrap? Yeah, all these not okay parts?" And he just told me, "Oh, that's not a problem. A compactor will eat it all, right?" And I was like, "Really?" So I couldn't believe he said that, but yeah, on the end, Compactor ate it all. So of course we were working and setting the processes and so on, and eventually we did. But yeah, that was for me. It was encountering with other culture, and it was not typical for me. So of course, every foreigner would be a little bit struggle. But on the other hand, I have to say that people were they were who they were. They were not really hiding anything. Of course, you need to watch the minute typically the minute, but this is across the globe. You are
Mhm.
trying to set something. The minute you turn around, usually they just go back to their routine as they had it. Yeah, so it needs to be inside. But I think you have your own experiences with that, right?
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, you need to embed it, and you need to as well explain why. And I think this was
Right.
something what worked quite well for me, explaining, being there with the people, explaining again. And I have one of the proverbs. I said, it takes 21 times before it gets to your habit. Yeah? And when it gets to your habit,
Sure.
like brushing the teeth, then you do it every day. Nobody need to come and to say, "Hey, Martin, just brush your teeth." Yeah, but yeah, this is the change management, and it's
Yeah.
painful. So
Oh,
definitely.
yeah.
And
So
the
we are going to.
people everywhere, in are just the mindset is different. But
Mm.
overall, what I'm saying, the 95% of the people, they always want to do the good job, and and that's fun. How about your way back?
Yeah, I was there several trips, but yeah, one of the trip ended just before let's say massive Corona measures started. And we were as a team of bunch of people, I don't know, 3 4 people in the plant as a foreigners, and we say, oh, it's coming, so we have to go home. So we scheduled a flight, we moved everything, and so we went to the airport, right? That was not a problem. We came to airport, and then suddenly we were waiting for the plane, and it was delayed. Yeah, and that's when it all started in the at least that part of the United States. And we were really concerned, so questioning what's going on and so on. And eventually the plane had, I don't know, 1.5 hour. It was delayed. And so then we just came in. We tried to contact the agencies because we knew that our connection, we were going to Chicago, is gonna be so-so. And unfortunately, we missed it by, I don't know, half an hour or so. So we came to Chicago, and we were going directly to the how to say contact point of the airline,
Mhm.
and we're claiming, oh, we just missed the flight because it was delayed, blah blah blah. And they said, okay, we will try to find you a flight. And in parallel, we were talking to our travel manager in our company, and they were really really trying to help. And they said, "Oh, okay, so you can fly to Düsseldorf on this flight." Oh no, Düsseldorf is closed. So we say, "Okay, so what can we do at another airport or so?" Oh yeah, you know what? Now there are a few spaces. You can go to London. I said, "Okay, let's go to London." This was in my case because we were flying to different destination as a team. So some of my colleagues, they were able to get another flights. But in my case, they said, "Oh, London. No, London is now closed as well." And it was like really literally like 10 minutes after 10 minutes, it was developing. And then eventually after maybe an hour or so, they found me a flight to Frankfurt in Germany. And it was, let's say, the day after. So I had to stay on the hotel in the Chicago, and early morning there was this flight. But then they had no connection to Vienna or anything closer. So I had to go by taxi from Frankfurt to Bratislava. Yeah, it was a really long trip, but I have to thanks to my company. This was really arranged, everything helpful from our travel manager, and I had just to how to say question how it's gonna be, and everything really was arranged. So these people who are doing this for us, thank you very much. It's very helpful and it means a lot for us. Yeah. So, and then it was funny. So I was traveling to Frankfurt. Meanwhile, we were crossing the German-Austria border, and my taxi driver, she was solving if she can come back. Because, and the German border control said, yeah, right now you can, but maybe later on you will be not able to. So anyway, on the end, we went to Bratislava on the border, really on the border. My wife had to come with a car, and she was a bit scared, right? So because it was a new COVID, nobody knew. So this was fun. She parked the car on the border. She went 100 meter out of the car, yeah, I mean far. She left the keys on the car and she said, "Okay, yeah, you have everything there, and I will bring you a meal and we will talk over the phone." So then I had to sit in the car, drive home. She went to her mother, yeah, with our daughter, and they stayed there 2 weeks, and she was just bringing me the food. Yeah, I think there are many stories like this, but for me it was really like, really, you don't like me? Why are you doing this to me? But
You
anyway,
stay in quarantine, yeah.
yeah, yeah, that was the time, and yeah, it was not nice, but many people, of course. In my case, it was really, I mean, I think very good because I was able to be at home, but many people stayed in a certain other accommodation forced and so on. So I realized that I was quite lucky actually.
Yeah, yeah.
But you had some of your stories, or?
Yeah, no, I was lucky. I didn't depart. Yeah, my plan
Mm,
was in April 2020,
mm,
so just a few weeks after to go to South America and then to Eastern Island. So which
mm.
is the most lonely place in the world.
Oh,
Yeah, it's really you have 5.5 hour flight from Chile, from Santiago de Chile, and I
okay.
think if this happened, like 1 month, after,
Mm.
I think I would stay there for 4 years. So yeah, so I was quite lucky that the COVID arrived, in March in Europe and not in April because I have no clue what I would be doing. Yeah, so lucky us finally. Another point that, of course, I know you are working in automotive industry, and
Yeah.
just tell me what are the biggest challenges, what you see. I mean, either from
Mm.
continuous improvement, but as well from the automotive perspective. Yeah.
Okay, so I would say as a continuous improvement, as I see it, and it's a many companies as I went through recent years. I would say every company was looking for saving. Number one, saving money. Yeah. I would say 10, 15 years ago, it was more about the quality and so on. I definitely don't say quality is not important. The companies are dealing with any quality issues, but really the focus is on lean and mostly just do it, the project. Yeah. So I would say really the focus from my point of view, of course, someone would say something different, but is on savings and bring the value to the company. Yeah. So that's from the CI point of view, as I see it as a most push, not just our company or in our company, but generally what I talk also to the other persons in this field. This is what basically we perceive, yeah. And the biggest challenges or the situation in current automotive industry, again, it's not objective. I'm of course talking to lots of people, but again, from my point of view, it's very challenging, especially in Europe. Um, Whoever I discuss says, yeah, the electrical cars are problematic. I tend to agree to that, of course, because we have pushed. I don't know if it's by European Union. I'm not good with the norms or legislation, but I think it's pushed that certain amount of cars must be electric, and so it was really pushed, but it seems that we don't have the infrastructure for that, and mainly it's expensive, and then the range is quite low. Yeah. with the which the cars which we have on the market can drive. Yeah. So who would do that right now if you have much more convenient combustion engines? Yeah. So that's one of the things. And then, of course, as we know, there is or it seems there is a deindustrialization in the European Union due to energy costs and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and also the Chinese car makers are ahead. I think I heard the stories that in China, and again, I'm not really deep into that they had some stimulus in China and so on. And many people are saying that in China, I haven't been there personally, but many people are saying they are much more further with
Mm-hmm.
much more electrical cars. But by us, it's not like that. And now let's come to I would say, the final thought about the car make or auto industry. It seems there is a really big challenge from my point of view in my career, past 20, 30 years, the biggest one ahead. And this is because it's changing we basically as European Union are changing and the industry is changing. It's adaptation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We need to adapt because some of the guys, I will quote the guy, said that young people are not buying this type of car. We had recently past 2 days discussion, and he said, but the young guys are not buying it, or yeah, in the meaning of the new generations.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the car makers, the OEMs, I'm afraid that we might see a big market shrink, that from many models and car makers will become much less
Mm-hmm.
because it's unbearable. Basically, if there are no sales, the volumes are getting lower. I wouldn't say no sales, but really the volume seems to get lower. And that's the general problem of the economy. And I think automotive industry is just one part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Generally seems in Europe it's gonna be very tough the next couple of years. Depends on what will be brought. Yeah, when there is a crisis, usually there are some programs, some
Opportunities.
publics. Yeah. So
Opportunities.
so but the adaptation and now really the final thought is I think the automation. That's
Mm-hmm.
what is coming. And I know that some companies are working really 2, 3 years ahead before of SOP, and they are building the plans. Let's say if there is a greenfield, hiring the people, and literally they can save lots of work positions with the automation. Of course, you need to have more maintenance, but it seems this is the future. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.